And I want to see if it's going to work today by checking my telephone. I'm not sure. Can you, Linda, be in charge of this? I want to see the comments coming in from the live stream, because what's been exciting for me about this group is that we have a physical location, but we live stream it every week. And so there's literally over 1,000 people around the world who have made this Friday morning group their Course in Miracles group. And I love that. You got it? Turn it down. Awesome. Thank you, Bonnie, Kimball, and Al. And so for those of you who are watching from the Teachers of God website, if you go over to the Teachers of God YouTube channel, there's a chat function there, and you can chat with people. Okay. So I'm just going to open up with prayer first of all, and I've asked Frank to do. I'm going to do the prayer first, Frank, and then I'm going to have you come up and do the meditation from Cafe Gratitude, and then we'll give a few announcements, and then we'll get started. Today I'm going to teach on Ask for Everything. And so it's a teaching from A Course in Miracles, and we'll get into that. But we're going to start with the prayer. So I ask you to just close your eyes. And there's no right or wrong way to pray. True prayer is nothing more than remembering who you are. That's it. It's not a prayer that asks for anything. It literally is a way that you reach to God. And God is the love that you are. And so we're reaching to that place now. We're finding it. And we give thanks. And we give thanks that we are together, surrounded by this love. And now we have the willingness to look at any blocks or obstacles, any fear, anything that's blocking this light from shining, from extending through us. And we know that healing is accomplished in joining with ourselves, with our oneness, and joining with others. And so I give thanks for the space, Unity on the River, for all of you here joined with me, my mighty companions. I give thanks to God. And I give thanks to the Holy Spirit, the Spirit that I am, that is holy, the truth of what we are. Amen. And I've asked Frank to come up. Every Friday, we read from Cafe Gratitude's calendar. And awesome, Frank. Love you. Okay. Oh, I have to stand near you because of the microphone. So we're going to be joined together.
Oh, boy. Okay, March 10th.
Oh, boy.
Above all things, revere yourself. What could you do to make someone's day today? And it says in here, creation, worth, love, acceptance, gratitude, curiosity, abundance. Okay. So I guess what we could do to make someone's day is, just lift them up and spend time with them, give them our full attention, maybe even praise God with them. That would all be very kind of nice. Okay.
You're awesome.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Frank.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frank.
I know. I love Cafe Gratitude so much. It's a restaurant that got started in San Francisco, and it's now has locations in Los Angeles and San Diego, and they have this great practice. So it's a restaurant, and they have servers there, obviously. And what they do is they have what they call sacred commerce. And sacred commerce is a practice that's actually built into the business, and the company pays for it. And the philosophy is that you need to have the servers, before they serve, be in their right mind. so that in order for when they open the doors up for everyone who shows up into the space, that it truly represents the vision that they had for the place, that it would be a place of love and gratitude and a place where people could feel the energy. And so it starts from this place of clearing. And I love that before we do anything, that we check in with ourselves. And what they do there is they have managers meet with you. I think it's for 15 minutes before your shift. You come in and your shift starts, and it starts with clearing. And so you meet with another person and you're checking in. Is there anything that's in your life that's going on that's blocking you from being the fullest expression of who you are? And then you clear with another. And to not really therapy. I mean, it could be therapy, like you could call it, but it's just a way for one to express and the other to remind them. So I guess that would be called therapy. So to me, this is what A Course in Miracles is about. It's a way that we're clearing ourselves from all our false beliefs, from all our ideas, and we do it immediately. We begin to have a discipline and a structure before the day begins of really seeing where we are. So welcome, newcomers, and we have announcements. And the first announcement I'd like to make is Kimberly Cartwright's going to be in the house next week. You guys all know Kimberly? So Kimberly's going to be here next week with Bill. And then big news, the week after, Andy Kimball is teaching. Am I correct on that one?
When you guys are in Utah?
San Diego. Oh, is he doing it during Utah?
Utah.
Oh, okay.
Where-
Scratch that. That's Easter. He's doing the Easter one.
Yeah, it's somebody else. Okay. We'll figure it out.
Going to San Diego for a week, March 22nd through the 29th. So there'll be someone else teaching. I thought it was Andy that week. And Utah is an Easter Course in Miracles conference with Jimmy Twyman, David Hoffmeister, Maria Felipe. Linda's going, Al's going, I'm going, Bill, Kelly Russell. Mark.
Oh, you're not going.
Test.
Who else is going in here?
Yourself.
Kimberly Cartwright's going. Lots of people from Living in Purpose are going. Who?
Laura.
Laura Powers. Yes, Laura's going.
Kelly Russell.
Kelly Russell. So it's going to be a huge party. And the Teachers of God Foundation has rented a room for 4 hours on Sunday afternoon to celebrate with 40-day
It's
guys.
Easter Sunday. It's like the biggest party
Mhm.
that's going to happen on Easter.
Mm-hmm. It is.
The day of the resurrection.
And that's so cool that it's Easter. I'd love to ask if Suzanne, if you could come up and share about the 40-day program. Yes. So we have a 40-day online program for transformation, which many people have heard about. It's totally free. And I'm so grateful to see just the changes that happen in people when they make a commitment. And this lovely being of light showed up this morning for her first time. And she came up to me and she told me a little bit. So I asked if you would share. And I have to stand close to you with the microphone.
Well, the 40-day program came at the perfect time, and my friend Andy was doing the 40-day program, and I think I pretty much came to her at a time where I didn't think I was going to make it through another day. And so she said, well, why don't, this is what I'm doing. And I looked at the intro and said, I got to do this. And so I've been doing the 40-day, and I have to tell you, Lisa, that there's not a day that goes by that I don't sit in my bed at 5 o'clock in the morning and listen to you and weep. And weep because it saved my life. I mean, it really saved my life.
Mhm.
And then I did this I can't remember what the workshop was on, but she was giving out new ACIM books, the new atonement book. And I've been using one from the library, and I was just going to keep renewing it until I couldn't renew it anymore. And then 10 cents a day, I said, I'll just give it back and pay the fine. And the right book is I'm going to get the book. And I'm very impulsive about buying books, but especially for spiritual growth, because as I said to you, it's in this book. This is the one that's going to put me over. And so I'll buy it. But for some reason, I didn't run out to buy this book. And I just said, I'm just going to wait. And then I was on the call, and Lisa was giving away these new books. And I really wanted one. So I said to God, I said, if Lisa gives me one of these books, that's the sign that I have to do the Living in Purpose program, which I don't have any money for, but I'll have to do it. And so she started giving books away, and she gave a book to a Sarah Sayers. Now, Sarah and I don't really do any chat room stuff. As you've noticed, a few things I posted them under the wrong people's posts, and I'm just not very Facebook I don't know how to do social media very well. So I did reach out to this one woman, Sarah, and congratulated her when she got the book. But before I did that, I had had a conversation with Sarah. She said something that resonated with me on the journey, and I gave her a little heart back. And it was nice to make that connection, because I've really become reclusive, very reclusive. And it kind of felt good to make a connection with another person, and that's why being up here is a very out of my comfort zone to even be talking.
That's what I do, though, right? I get you out of your comfort zone. Now, don't forget to tell the part. I can't believe it's you that's here. Do you live in New Hampshire?
I'm from New Hampshire, but I live in Massachusetts right now, down almost on the Rhode Island border.
So Suzanne wrote me the letter about what happened on that call. I only gave like 4 books away in 2 hours. So it was just, the $45 books that we got from the Circle of Atonement, new version of A Course in Miracles. And you sent me an email, and the first thing you told me was that you were really pissed off because Sarah said, I prayed that I would be someone who won one of the books.
And I literally screamed into the computer, I prayed to Jesus too! And then I caught myself, and I thought, you're not even happy for her. And I really felt that. And quickly congratulated Sarah and said, congratulations. And I no sooner did that, and Lisa said, I think I'm just going to choose one more name. And she's on her little Sue's Cat Mac, which is my email. And I just...
Well, the other funny thing is that
died.
But the workshop ended at 3:00, and I've got Bill on the camera saying to me, you got to end. And I just said, I'm going to give one more away. And we had already exceeded the number that we were going to give away, but I was just feeling like we're going to give one more away. And when I saw her thanking someone else, I mean, that's really what this is all about. We're blessing others. We're using our time. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, yep, there it is.
And that was the sign that I had to do the Living in Purpose, as well as many other lessons that were there for me. But Tell how alive the book is. Okay. But I just want to say I finished the 40-day program yesterday, and so I'm really going to miss not hearing Lisa say "I love you" every single
but I say
morning. But there are many other.
I say it in Living in Purpose.
Oh, do you? Okay.
All the time.
So I'm going to start that. But so I finally got the book, and I don't know what it is, but I feel like that book is alive, and when I don't feel alone anymore. I don't know what it is about that book, but it's
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we're going to rise and greet each other in love, and this is a time of just saying hello and seeing the Christ in our brother. I see you. Got my mic on. Probably turn it off. I love you guys. Mwah.
Hopefully I won't. No, it's still working.
You okay, Lisa? Working?
Yeah,
The other, okay, button.
I'm on. I'm live. Hi, Al.
Sorry, you can use that other mic, but it's going to cut you off.
Okay, I'll use this one. Yeah. Oh, good. Sean Tompkinson's in the house, everyone. Good morning, my friend. So, for those of you who are new for the first time, what is A Course in Miracles? I'm just going to give a quick, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so powerful. I've been like, got to get Sean back here. You look awesome. How long were you gone for?
2 weeks.
Wow. Yep. Good to have you back. So I have 3 copies of the new Course in Miracles. If anyone wants to buy a copy, they're $45 each. That's the cost that we paid for them, and you can get them without shipping. They're in the back. And you just make a check out to the Teachers of God Foundation. And if there's more people that want them, just let us know, and we can order them because we can get them without shipping. And so we'll just have them here for you. And so A Course in Miracles is a way to train your mind to a new way of seeing yourself. And it takes you through the transformation from the place where you think you are in fear, in judgment, and all those ideas that go with it, sickness, pain, guilt. It meets you where you think you are as a body, and it leads you back inward to the place where you have never left, which is love. And I like it because it actually has a mind training. It has lessons. And it takes 1 year. There's a workbook lesson. I always encourage people to make that commitment. And I was thinking yesterday how so much of what's going on right now on the internet and with businesses and coaching programs, you know, it's like 5 tips and 7 tips and 3 fast ways. And I even play that game. You know, I get right in it. But I know that there's not an easy route to this. It is easy once you make the commitment, but there's no shortcut. That's been my experience. You have to really say, yes, I'm committed to the dismantling of my thought system of fear. So it's not going to take you 5 simple steps. It just isn't. It's going to take a full commitment from you to allow yourself to see all that you're doing and have the willingness to forgive it all. That's really what it is. And so it starts you with the first lesson, nothing I see means anything. And all you have to do is 1 lesson a day. Good morning. And today I wanted to give a talk on asking for everything. And Jesus says in one of the workbook lessons, he says, you do not ask for too much from life, you ask for far too little. And I love the use of the word from life in there. You do not ask too much from life, but far too little. And so I want us to just look at that for a moment. I want us to really look at, are you asking from life? What is life? Life is what you are. Like we think life is what's happening. Like life is something that we're just involved with. But that's not what that says. You're asking from life. Life is intelligence. Life is wisdom. Life is God. And so we're asking now from this place within for everything. And I have really found, and this is for myself, is that I got to a place where I really thought certain things weren't going to happen for me. that there were certain miracles that were out of my reach. And I also felt guilty for asking for things that were worldly, because the Course even says it in that lesson. Like, we're asking for bodily things, but then he says, you know, ask for things that are true. But what I like about asking for everything, even the bodily things, even for health and for wealth and for the things that you really want from the place where you are, where you think you are. Because from that place, I want you to look at what goes on in your mind. So who wants to ask for something here that they want? Anything? Health, so healing. Linda? Fulfillment. No, that's not abstract. But that's what the mind does. I love that. That's a great demonstration. So the mind says it wants something, and immediately it doubts itself. It says, "Oh, did I not say it right?" But that was perfect demonstration of. Well, thank you so much for that. It was brilliant. Because to me, this is all about becoming aware of what your thoughts are doing. It actually has nothing to do with the form. But we use the form to see what's going on in the mind. So this is where it gets fun. So if you say, I want fulfillment, then you watch the doubt, or then you'll start just to ask, what does that mean for me? Like, what is that? And what Jesus says is that the miracle is instant, that you literally get answered in the moment that you ask. And we don't often think that's true, because you ask, for example, a healing or more money, for example, and you think, I don't have them yet. And so you're asking for something that seems like it's outside of yourself, right? Like, as if you're asking from Jesus or from God or from something. And then you're using the body's eyes to tell you if it has arrived or not. And what I want you to start opening your mind up to do is to use the question of the asking to see what blocks are still there. You do not ask too much from life, but far too little. Begin to ask for everything, and begin to really see what your thoughts are around the thing you're asking for. You want a healing? What happens to the mind? It almost immediately, it just starts to doubt. Correct?
Because of the past.
Yeah, because of its own conditioning from the past. And so I love the topic of healing. It's just something that just calls to me. How is healing accomplished? And what A Course in Miracles says about it is only salvation can be said to cure. And so what I wanted to read right now, I actually don't know where it is in the Course, but I wrote it in my computer this morning. It says, let's see. Salvation, perfect and complete. Ask but a little wish that what is true be true. A little willingness to overlook what is not there. A little sigh that speaks for heaven as a preference to this world that death and desolation seem to rule. Salvation, only salvation can be said to cure. So that's where you are remembering the truth of what you are. You are remembering, I am spirit. I am the truth, the way, and the light. I am that. And then you begin to really see where the mind starts to just take over. and tell you that's not true, because look at the evidence that I have based on my circumstances, and look at my body. I'm not whole and perfect. And so all we're doing here is we're correcting the thought. Like in my mind, healing is simple. Like I did a video yesterday where I was talking about how you as a healer, because that's what we are, we're miracle workers. So the transformation takes you first through the undoing, where you're a student, you're a beginner, you're in a place where you're just surrounded by your own false ideas, and you allow the transformation to occur, and you remember who you are. It's a course in remembering who you are. It's that simple. And you remember, I'm the Son of God. I am the light of the world. I am whole and perfect. I'm one with God. I'm one with my brother. And you know, for a moment while you're going through it, you fall back into the old patterns, you get back on track. And then there's an integration that occurs where you more and more are identifying with the light that you are. That it's like the ratio gets changed, where before you were mostly looking at your problems and your image, and all of a sudden you notice that the ratio is changing. And now you're more paying attention to the light that you are. And then the shift occurs where you start to notice the light in your brother now. Like you see, suddenly, like, right, Suzanne, things start to get very different. You start to feel a stirring in the hope in you again. And you begin to see that this is very real. You can ask and receive. And then the second part, in my mind, is where you join with Jesus to begin to extend this to others. That which you have received, you're now extending it to others in the same way that someone helped you. There's not a single person in this room that did not get this without someone else helping them. I guarantee it. Like, we all had, in most cases, I think in all cases, I would say, a person who expressed something. You might have heard it through a book, but the book came through the person. Like, all of us had an experience where it's like you're a little bit like taken off balance at first, like, oh, I don't have to suffer, like however form it came for you. And then you become that for others now. You become the light in the dark, the same way others were a light in the dark for you. So there's many different methods of healing that people use. Some people use touch, some people use Reiki, some people can feel what another person energetically has going on with them, and they can shift in their own mind, and the shift occurs in the other. Like, there's no right or wrong way to heal. Some people heal with therapy. They sit with another, and you begin to really see, like, okay, what is healing? Like, how can I help another? And so for me, the way that it works is I actually can't, I'm not going to say I can't, because I can. Because even that, like, watch your language. If you say you can't, you can't. But I'm not someone who can sit with you and tell you what's going on with you. Some people can. Some people see angels. Some people see light. There's so many amazing gifts and abilities that each of us have, and it's going to be particular for you. But the way that I heal is I need to get you talking. That's how it is for me. I need to find out from you where you think you are, where your location is. And then from there, I need to see if you're willing to shift your location. That's how I do it. Because all the miracle is a shift in perception. So if I can get you to that's why I like the 40-day program, because I require a commitment before you take that program. And I know that it's your saying yes to 40 days, that your willingness to shift out of your location. And I know that that is what cures. Not the program, not me, but you. And from that point, you start to just move out of that location. So I would ask you right now, what are your thoughts about yourself? Honestly. I want you to think about what are your private thoughts about yourself. Not what you put out to the world, not you being generous and happy and giving, not your image of yourself, but your true thoughts about yourself. And that's going to tell you what your state of mind is. So it could be doubt, it could be low self-esteem. Whatever your thought about yourself is giving you the picture of your life, without exception. And so you start from that place and you ask yourself, okay, does anyone want to share where they are? What are your thoughts about yourself, honestly? Honestly?
You know what?
So if you want to hold this.
Do I have to close to the mic? So I do a lot of work, like a lot with you too, and so all day long I'm constantly doing what you taught me. I'm all light, I'm all love, but probably, and I was talking to the young girls I work with the other day because they're like, "You're always so happy," and I'm like, 8,000 times a day the ego comes in and tells me you're worthless, you're a piece of shit, you're unlovable. And I have to keep saying, change your thought, change your life. You're all light. You're all love. I have to keep bebopping back and forth because it ping pongs with me. And it's a daily vigilance for me. It really is. It's a daily vigilance for me and the women I sponsor. I do the same thing you do. I listen to what they're saying. And then I'm like, you got to change your thoughts or you're not going to change your life. It's not going to happen. And the ego never lets up on your character defects. It's always trying to push them in there when you're like, I'm all love. I'm all light. It goes, really? I don't think you are. So that's my honest truth.
Yeah, thank you. And it requires that kind of honesty. Like it requires that kind of honesty because you might say to yourself, I don't understand why I'm still sick. I don't understand why I have no money. I don't understand why my relationships are not working. So you have this mind training. You have to know what's going on in your thoughts. There's no other way. And you can't change it behaviorally. It won't work because what is out there is nothing more than an effect of the cause that is within you, which Jesus tells us is already over. The cause is already over. Oh, I also want to say, I don't know if Bill's watching, but Bill Free is with his son right now, and they're going up to the White Mountains. So I love you. And this kid, he's 28. His name's Cameron. He's amazing. I actually wish they weren't going to the mountains. Like, I wish they were staying at the house, but they're going to have a great time. But I just wanted to say hello if you're listening. They're probably driving right now. And so that's why this is why it doesn't take 5 easy steps. Like, it's an absolute 100% commitment to dedicate your mind to watching your thoughts and seeing what you're doing. And it really is, Jesus calls this complete thought reversal. That you are beginning to make contact with life, with the presence and the power that you are. And you're beginning to ask, and you're beginning to have new practices like stepping back and letting Him lead the way. Him is the light. And you're now not relying on yourself anymore. You're relying on God. You're depending on God for everything. You're having trust now in this presence, in this power that you are. And for a moment, and the moment can sometimes last for years, it can seem very disorienting. It's a whole different way of living. And what I love about that we have spaces that we can meet now, like here and online, and just there's more and more individuals that are looking for others who are living in this way, because this kind of language isn't really normal to most people. You know, you start to really not be able to relate to the people in your work anymore because they're all complaining. They all think their bodies the way we thought we were bodies. And now it's moving into a space where we're simply in the practical application of the ideas so that we can see that they work. And when the fear comes up, we're not hiding anymore. And so the rest of this passage, salvation, perfect and complete, asks, but a little wish that what is true be true. What is true? Can someone answer that? What?
I am already.
That's true.
Love.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
We have all the power of God.
Exactly.
Will you repeat
We have-
what they said? Just repeat what they said. I want to hear
I said,
vibration.
we have all the power of God within us. We actually are God. It's that simple.
That's it.
You just have to remember it all the time.
So
If we have all the power, we could misuse it. So are we doing the right thing, with our power? Right? Just having the power, and then how are you using it? You want to be using it well. I don't want to push you over. And
well, this, when you're misusing the power by how you feel. And this simply says, ask but a little wish that what is true be true. So that we allow God to be God. We allow love to be love. That we allow what is true to be true. And put this on. It says, a little willingness to overlook what is not there. So that's everything. Like everything that the body's eyes see. Any sickness, any pain, any grievance, a little willingness to overlook what is not there. Your sickness is not there. Your pain is not there.
Can you explain to Brian, so Leave Life is on here, Joan DeGroot is on here.
Yay!
Can you explain to Brian, he wants to know if you're talking about, what kind of sickness you're talking about, physical?
Yep.
Or sickness of the thoughts?
All healing is accomplished in the mind. You don't heal anything in the physical. Hi, Brian. Hi, Joan. Hi, Lee. Tanya. Who else is online? Sean Marie.
Let's see, Todd Schmidt's on there.
Todd. Oh my God, I love you, Todd. That
Right?
guy.
Yeah, so this is Brian Hart, and we've got, you say Leave Life, you see stuff right of her. Teresa McGill.
Teresa. Love you. So all healing is of the mind. So sickness is external searching, health is inner peace. And so it's however you get back to that place when you are experiencing that peace, and you consistently stay in that place, you will see the effects change. And so you're no longer trying to heal anything on the form. It's all healing is of the mind. And what was the rest of the question?
That's all he wanted to know. He said, I was wondering if he meant it was physical. He
Yep.
wanted you to clear that up.
And again, there's so many beautiful teachers and healers that have different methods, and I love any attempt to help another. That's how it is for me. I don't think there's any wrong way to do it. And my friend Katja, who's in Denmark, and her and I talk a lot about Mary Magdalene, and we both have had recently an interest in angels and a recent interest in essential oils. And we were talking about how Mary Magdalene, who used essential oils 2,000 years ago, didn't actually believe in the essential oil to do anything. But she used the oil to trap your attention to get the joining to occur. So when you're doing healing work, it's the joining that's doing the healing. It's so you're not actually like really healing them with some kind of external method. So, you know, you take she took the oil and she says, "Oh, do you mind if I do your feet? Can I do your feet?"
Yes.
You take off your little of that. How about the other one?
Okay.
Okay. There you go.
Sure? Okay, I'm not doubting.
There you go. There, yeah. And so and I'd love to hear from anyone how it's been for you when you meet others, because I think this is a big question that people do have. It's kind of like it does go in stages. First, you want help for yourself. You want help with getting out of pain. You want more money. You want a healing. You want more happiness. You want just a better life, really. That's how it usually begins. I mean, people get into A Course in Miracles because they want a miracle for themselves. And that's where we all start. But then what happens as you keep showing up and you keep really seeing, okay, wow, this is about extension. It's about joining. The focus then goes to others now. And what Jesus tells us is that the other is you. So you're always only giving to yourself. And so now we get to use the external world as a picture that we can use to show us where healing needs to happen in others. But it's not happening in others, it's happening here. And so for me, I just, again, like the way it's really come to me, because I actually tried to heal. I kept wishing I had abilities to see angels, and I wished I had an ability to shift something in my mind from a distance, and then somebody would receive a healing. And I'm sure that already is occurring. But what I found for me, and I think this is important, that you find out what's yours. Like how is it coming to you to join and extend and heal and help? This beautiful section in the psychotherapy booklet at the end of the Course in Miracles, that's actually not in the new version, but it's the Song of Prayer and the psychotherapy booklet, just are these two supplements that Helen Schuckman did, where it talks about how you help another, like how you join with another and you help them to shift. And then I want you to start paying attention to that this week. I want you to really pay attention when you're with others, how you're listening, how you're thinking about yourself. Are you doubting that you can help them? Are you doubting that you're still in lack? Like, just pay attention. Like, to me, this is a mind training. To me, this is how the healing occurs. And it comes in surprising ways, like with you, Suzanne, where I stayed on that call till 3. I don't know why I did that. And I had everyone in the room I was like, no, one more. We're going to go just a little.
You might have already said goodbye to everyone, because I remember you said anyone who wants to go can go, but we're going to stay on a little longer.
Oh, did I?
Remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
Will you repeat that?
So she said that I told everybody if they want to go, because we were over the time, they could go, but I was going to stay on just a little bit longer. And so you're starting to listen. And so ask for everything. So asking for everything is, and I'd love to open up the conversation on how it is for you, because for me, it's asking for my next steps, for acknowledging that I have an inner teacher, a guide that's with me, that I'm collaborating now, that I'm not alone. I can't see my guide. I can't see this presence and this power. But because of all the years of asking to be shown that I'm not alone, I know I'm not alone anymore. I know that this one who is the allness of me goes before me, the body, before me, the identity. And then I'm just there, really, because it's invisible, because it's a whole different way of living, you really do have to practice. And I've asked for surprises. I've asked for Jesus to surprise me. I've asked to be shown he's here, because I'm like, I don't know, you need to show me. I need proof. And that's okay. I've asked for that, and I've seen things happen. And then you get to the point where you're no longer asking now for the proof of it. You know. Does anyone want to share on? Oh, yes. John, come up here.
Do you want me to come up there?
All the way up.
Great.
So asking is prayer,
Mhm.
and
Talk in the mic.
and thanks, Al. What I think is mine to say how it's going
Mhm.
with that is I believe the ego comes in and is hooked on to what the answer is.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so what's difficult is to let go of the answer
Mhm.
and let God or us or the other person or however it comes to you
Mhm.
be the answer.
Yeah.
And know that the answer is there.
I love that.
But
Did you guys hear that? That was so good.
So good.
Let the other person be the answer. Like, we're so set on the outcome, but can you describe what that means? Let the other person be the answer.
listening, like you said, listen to them and know that it might not even be the words that you're hearing. It might, but the answer will always come. I know the answer is always there. And it's easy to get stuck on that ego get part, that thing, that part of the ego that tries to manipulate and go, no, you didn't get what you asked for because you thought that's what it was going to be, and so it's not working.
Yeah.
And so ask again. Well, and you'll get another answer maybe, but it's really the same answer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
I love that. And that's really it. Like, we've already we asked the question, and before we're even done asking, we've already determined the form that the answer is supposed to come in, if we're honest, right? And then we literally wait to see the outcome that we've already predetermined we want, instead of just being totally open and available and willing to see what's right in front of us. That's why miracle principle number 1 says there's no order of difficulty in miracles. They're all the same, and they don't take any time. And so it says, a little willingness to overlook what is not there, a little sigh that speaks for heaven. So now, instead of speaking of our grievances and speaking of death and desolation, we're speaking for heaven. So miracle worker can only bless. So where before we were spending all our time in complaining and just continually like being a body identity, we're now speaking of heaven. If you look at Jesus, this is why Jesus is, to me, the greatest demonstration that ever lived. He was broadcasting from the place where he was, or was isn't the word, where I am. If you look at every single Bible verse in the New Testament, he literally was standing in a place where all was one. And he was speaking from that place, and no one knew what he was talking about. And he would say, follow me. He's trying to get them out of the location where they were to get to where he is abiding. If I be lifted up, I shall draw all men unto me. And so that's the invitation for all of us. Be lifted up and speak from that place. And all men shall be lifted up unto you. Why? Because all men are your own thought projections. So you're just having the vigilance and the willingness now to shift your own location, to be in that abiding place and speak from that place. And you just be yourself. You just be yourself without the fear. And so, in joyous answer will creation rise within you to replace the world you see with heaven, holy, perfect, and complete. What is forgiveness but a little willingness that truth be true? What can remain unhealed and broken? From a unity which holds all things within itself, there is no sin. And Jesus says that sin means absence of love. There is no absence of love. And every miracle is possible the instant the Son of God perceives his wishes and the will of God are one. Every miracle is possible the instant the Son of God perceives his wishes and the will of God are one. And this is why miracles don't take any time. So when you ask for something, check in with yourself that are your wishes joined with the will of God? And instantly, like what you did was so perfect. That was a perfect demonstration. What you did with Sarah. That to me was the instantaneous miracle that you saw yourself getting pissed off. You saw yourself being jealous. Sarah got the book. Sarah said, oh my God, I prayed I would win. And you said, I prayed I would win. And you saw the grievance and there was instant correction. That's the miracle. And whether you get the book or not doesn't matter. Because some people will say out there listening, well, I prayed for the book and I didn't win the book. You know, like I always laugh at that football thing you say that the Patriots won. But the actual outcome was that the other team didn't win. You see? Like it's like we all have to really get to this place where we're recognizing that the result is in the joy and the peace that we're experiencing, and whatever happens after that is just icing on the cake. Who is that? You want to say something?
I think it is important to give up the idea that I will know what I'm asking for will look like, how it's going to appear. For instance, right now, I have a need to ask for help in finding a new place to live because our landlady is putting the condo on the market. So I'm trying. Yes, like in weeks. So I both am trying to say the characteristics of where I want to be, sometimes in pretty physical forms, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths if possible, small house, But I need to be wide open to however it comes. Like and it may not come. That may not come. Something else may come that'll be better. So the real feeling is, how can I be of service? How can I, with my roommate, find a comfortable place to continue in the growth? One more thing I wanted to mention is when you start out, you said, and I do agree, that the process of seeing seeing my fear, seeing my disgust, seeing my judgment, whatever, never really stops. It keeps going. But I think that the curve, there's still that up and down. So, there's always an up. So for a while it feels great and you feel the results of what you just did, and it's awesome and it's wonderful, and that's the encouragement. And then the next thing around is, it's time to see something different about what I'm still being negative about or judging or whatever. So before, I felt like I was up and down and up and down and up and down. And then after I started Course in Miracles and mind training, now it feels like there's still up and downs, but the whole curve is going up. So when I get that up feeling, it's bigger, more expansive, greater, more encouraging, more certain. It's like when you said the ratio between the ups and the downs shift too. So it's like the ups get really high and the downs aren't so dramatic because it doesn't take so much to get my attention.
That's awesome. Yeah, the bottom, they say that in AA. I think they say your bottom comes up. So what do you feel about having to move? Like, what is it feeling?
Well, the first response was, I really kind of wanted to move anyway, you know? So look, the universe is helping me move along. I can pick a place where my son can come visit with his dog, which is not true now. My grand dog can't visit me, it's, and so that is in some way. And then that's been the overwhelming kind of thing. It's like, oh, good, look, we get to choose again. We get to reframe this. We get to see what's coming. And then ego gets to sneak in there a little bit. Oh my gosh, it's likely to be more expensive, no. But no, I don't know how it's coming. I don't know what it's going to look like, but the timing's going to be perfect. And I'm just waiting to see how it manifests.
I love that. And I love if you're honest, you can actually see you have been asking for change. Like you have been asking for something to happen. Yeah, I've told the story here before, just briefly, where Bill and I saw this house years ago that I really wanted in Rye. It was a $1 million house, and I was convinced it was our house. And even people around us were saying that it was our house, even the owners. They'd had a psychic tell them that we were the owners of that house in Rye. And so we kept thinking $1 million is going to come, and I visualized myself in that house. And for over a year, I was like, that's our house, and we're going to live in that house. And then I went to Denmark, and standing in Katja and Fleming's kitchen, Katja had an identical story where she was attached to a certain outcome of a house she wanted, and Fleming helped her to release her own attachment. And within days, the perfect house showed up for them. Not the house that she wanted or that she had an attachment, but the house that was perfect. And you were there, Al, when that happened. And I stood in that kitchen in Denmark, and I just released all of that. I said, I'm never thinking about that house again. I know I'm here only for the will of God. What am I doing thinking about how I'm going to be taken care of here in time and space? It's funny when you think about it, but you get nervous. You think, oh my God, I'm going to be homeless. Where will I live? And I just released it in a total authentic way, where it wasn't like I was trying to manipulate it, like, oh, I surrender, but maybe this time it'll work and I'll get the house. And when we got back from Denmark, Bill got a call from our accountant from the Teachers of God Foundation who said, hey, I have this other client and they have this house in Maine, and I think you guys would be perfect for it. And we called the owners. They were there that day. We went down. It is literally my dream house. It is the house I have dreamed of since I was a little girl. Is it the most perfect house in all the world? And
My dream house.
it's what? What'd you say?
Everybody's dream house.
It's everybody's dream house. And it was totally affordable. It was just an incredible location. And it comes in the surrender where you say, okay, like I'm not going to use the power of God anymore to make things in time and space happen. I really am releasing my outcome and my attachment so that I can be available to God to carry the light where I am today. Because the mind wants, you're here for today. And the master teacher, who's my teacher, and he's this guy in Wisconsin. He passed in May 2008, but he always said to us, you're here on a one-day assignment. You arrived here this morning and you're leaving tonight. And he's always speaking to the I, you. You just got here this morning and you're leaving tonight. He's speaking to the spirit. I just arrived and I landed in this body. I am. I just got here. Without a past, without a future. Here, sent by God to be the light of the world. And I'm leaving tonight. So that really simplifies things, right? That solves all your problems, right? But then the mind's like, yeah, but where will I live next week? Yeah.
I love this. Thank you so much. I was just reading that. Can you hear me? And I'm paraphrasing a little bit from the Course, but it said that it made me cry. God loves you so much. Do you think I would ever put the solution of the problem where you can't find it? It's always right there, nestled within the problem, and it's right there for us. And God would never make us go searching and finding and looking for ways to fix it. It's actually right there. So if we can let go of the outcome and trust and celebrate and know that it is being solved, it's just that's right there. So love knowing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, funny thing happened this week where the reason why I decided to have the topic asking for everything is because I have been feeling like I don't want to be on the computer so much anymore, and you guys have probably already heard me say this before, and there are 15,000 people right now in all our programs on the Teachers of God Foundation, which is awesome, right? But I feel like I need to be there on Facebook, and I need to answer all the mail, and I need to be there for every comment. It's physically not possible. It's just not possible. So we have 50 Facebook admins who are incredible. We have a prayer team of 19 people. I mean, there's so much support. Right, if anybody's watching, thank you for that, is we do have 19 people on a prayer team for the Teachers of God Foundation. And they're there to support you and to pray with you, and whatever questions you have, we have a link on our website where you can fill out a form, and it's a real person. Like, we had somebody recently who sent in something, and she got this response back from someone on our prayer team, and it didn't address the story, so the woman actually thought it was an autoresponder. She just thought, and it was long, beautiful for this woman and her situation. And the woman just said, well, this has nothing to do with what I asked. And is this a form letter? And it's not. These are real people. These are real people who are here to support you. And so we have a team at the Teachers of God Foundation. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. If people really saw what we do, we have an amazing board of directors, and just the time and the love that goes into making it look like we do nothing. That's really what we want. We want it to be effortless on the front side, so you don't actually see the behind the scenes stuff that goes on, and it takes a village, really. And I've been spending a lot of time on Facebook, just trying to be there for everybody. So I was talking to the team about, okay, maybe I'll just go on for 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night, and I'll shut down Facebook, and then I'll be available for, just creating new content, new other things. And we all agree, yeah, great idea. And then I talked to Bill about it, and Bill gave the same suggestion. Like, maybe you just be there just briefly in the morning. Maybe you can do a video a week just for everyone. And then I walked out of the room, and I came back, and Bill goes, oh my God, scratch what I just said. He goes, did you ask? And I laughed. I was like, no, I didn't. I didn't ask. Am I supposed to be on Facebook? Am I supposed to be there? What am I supposed to be doing? And he said, Lisa, you're so good at it. Maybe that's all you're supposed to be doing. Maybe you're not supposed to be doing all these other things. Like ask. And that's why we can't really have a schedule, like a regular routine, because you're the Son of God. You have no idea what your day is going to look like, except that it's going to be a day spent in joy. And so every morning you now have a discipline to check in with yourself, to plug into God and say, okay, what would you have me do? That I'm here only for you, Father. This is what Jesus did. He had no agenda except to be the light that he is. and to go wherever he was needed. So are we at the end of our time? 5 minutes.
The success people, they usually plan your days the night before, and you don't do that.
Sometimes I do if I
Yeah.
ask. Like if I see, this is, everything comes back to asking. Like sometimes people will say to me, what should I do about this? My response is always the same: ask. Nobody can say. So there are times when I have heard for myself to plan my day, to look at my calendar. It's actually what I'm doing right now. I now, because I asked, I have a calendar, and I just, the night before I finish my work day, I check the next day. And it actually saves me time. Saves me time now, and then I don't have to think about it. But even that might go away in a second. Like it's like, I don't know. Like it's constantly being rearranged.
Yeah.
So who would like to pray? And then we'll get into a circle, or one more question. Do you have a comment, Monica?
Maybe I do. Oh, you wanted to make an announcement.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can do that too.
It's kind of a big.
She has a new book out.
Yeah, I have a story in a book but don't go on Amazon and get it yet. Wait till Tuesday, okay, the 14th, between 12 and 7 Eastern time. We're having a big party, launch party. And just, you can get it on my Facebook if you want. It's Monica Dubay, Dubay. And this is really amazing. 29 authors of stories of transformation, all women, all in their midlife. It's called Midlife Transformations. And I'm just proud to be part of it. Every story made me cry because it made me realize that we're all in this transformation and we're all undergoing this process of letting go and trusting, I need a place to live. Yeah, you do. And you need friends, and you need support, and you need love, and you need money, and you need all that. But you're being given it in every moment, right? So the story really tells this of how I came to the East Coast, how I was desperate. I didn't know what I was doing here. And all of us, I just had to keep praying. But
That's
the voice,
a story, though, because when she came to the East Coast, this is amazing because you didn't know anybody. And I was with Nancy
I knew you.
in a restaurant up in Scarborough, Maine.
Yeah.
And you walk around the corner.
I just pulled in.
She just
the car
I'm like,
drove in by itself.
She's from Wisconsin. And I'm like, Monica. And it was just like, oh my God. And that's how it works, though.
Yeah.
Literally, if you're listening and you're just going somewhere and you pull into a restaurant, and then a week later, I saw you in another restaurant in a totally different random place in a whole different part of Maine. And that's when I told you about this group.
Right.
And that's how, like, when you just are allowing yourself to go where you're being guided, and you're not just sitting waiting for the thing to come on a platter, but you're like, I'm hungry. I think I'm going to go to that restaurant. That's how it works.
But I ask.
Yeah.
I always ask, what's mine to do right now?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I live my life. It's really fun.
It is fun.
Yeah. It's scary because you don't know. You're in the uncertainty all the time. But then it's like, oh, here I am doing this. Like, I didn't even know I was going to do this today.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of remembered to bring the book. That was good.
Ha.
But, I don't really know. I didn't know I was going to be in a book. This
So
was
great.
totally miraculous how these things happen. And so it is being willing to ask for all that you desire, which is really that you know who you are and that you are connected to your creator, that you're always being given way more than you're asking for because you're already in this total certainty of who you are. When you deny it and block it, then, you got a little work to do, but it's much simpler than we think. And, thank God, right? Thank God that it's easier.
I know.
Anyway,
I
thank
love
you.
it. Scary and fun. So, so we're all going to join in a circle. So this is midlife transformation. And so on Tuesday, and for those of you guys who don't know, when you do something on the same day with a group of people, it can make something an Amazon bestseller. That's why if you want to mark it on your calendars and buy it on Tuesday, it goes straight to the top of the list.
Oh, and there's lots of free gifts and stuff being offered at the time. So you'll be eligible for that.
Well, I love you all. And if we can join and make a circle. So we thank you for just the way you show up in life. And we also thank you for your financial support. It really does help. We have a love box in the back of the room for just anything that you would like to give. It helps us to pay for this room. This room costs $100 a week, and it helps us to give money back to Unity on the River. And for those of you guys watching live stream, there's a donate button. And it's just incredible to be able to offer this live stream around the world, and we want to be able to keep that going. So I thank you. And remembering the abundance that you are as you're extending it, we say the Unity Abundance Prayer. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Okay. Just feel the energy and the love in the hand beside you and in every hand that they're connected to. And just all the love that's here for us, all these brothers that came in and joined with you and with us on this journey, this destination to a place we never really left. So we just say thank you, Heavenly Father, for all that you bring to us in this separation, to remind us, to help us remember you, to help us remember that we are God expressing yourself as us in our unique, authentic, beautiful ways. May we go forward and see that everywhere we look and trust you. And always, no matter what, remember to ask, because we'll always be answered with love. For that, we are so grateful. Amen.
Amen. I also, my live streamers, I want to say one more thing is that I've asked, we have an awesome woman on our team, Amy Starr Allen. She does all the technical behind the scenes stuff. And I've asked her to put a mailing list button on the Friday group part of our website. So our mailing list for this group is separate than the Teachers of God mailing list. So any of you online who want to receive, we send out one message a week that's got all the other events that are going on, other Course in Miracles groups, just other announcements. You can sign up directly there. So thank you.